Hi, Olga. Welcome to the podcast. I'm really happy to have you on here, especially to talk about this topic, which I still think it's gone unanswered in the industry, like for mostly. So, yes, thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah. Hi, Ben. I'm very happy to be here. Yes, EAT and now double EAT or EEAT is definitely the topic we should be talking about. Like it's been here since I think the first iteration of that was with the Medic update in 2018, and now we are how many years? 6 years
Yeah.
later, and it's still five years later, and it is still kind of in full swing, I would say.
Yeah, it's still a bit of a mystery, I think. So, why don't we just start at the beginning? What is
Sure.
what is EAT? And then we're going to just mostly focus on that new E. Like, what is that about?
Yeah. So EAT stands for expertise, authoritativeness, or I prefer to say just authority, trustworthiness. And now, recently, I think it was in December 2021 when Google edits, I think, about 11 new pages to their quality raters guidelines, where originally this term appeared for the first time. And now they added this new E, which stands for experience. So it's getting more complicated.
Yeah. Well, why do you think they added the new? Well, what is the new E experience? Can you explain what have they tried to do there? Why have they introduced
Yeah,
it?
I think in this they are kind of opening the scope to include not only people who have expertise around such topic, but who have experience, which means sometimes you may not be an expert in something, but you may have hands-on experience, and sometimes your experience may be more relevant to the user than if you were, let's say, an expert in that specific topic. Let's say, for example, when a user is looking for information about some illness, they may get information from the doctor who describes this illness, stuff like that. But maybe in this particular case, they'd rather have someone who is suffering from that illness experience, like what the tips they have to overcome it or to kind of get through it faster. So I would say this is now it is more important than it was before to kind of be able to differentiate between experience and expertise. And this is like when this E comes in, new E
Yeah,
comes in.
it's a really difficult one to define when one is more important than the other. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I'm one of those people who adds, like search term plus Reddit or something, try
Yeah.
to read the forums and like to get experiences because that's so valuable sometimes.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think Google in this newest addition to Google Quality Raters guidelines, they also added they extended the scope of the types of content that can show experience. I think they mentioned their forums, they mentioned user generated content, they mentioned videos. I think they even talked about influencers. So this is, I think, like this maybe a little bit of a change because before that we only thought about, I think, the content on the website, but now it's maybe the forum which gives you this experience you are looking for.
mm, yeah, because I used to think if I saw a forum like Reddit in the search results, that probably means like no one else has written a proper blog about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes no one actually has written the blog, and sometimes the answer you're looking for may be exactly in this Reddit thread. I think
Yeah.
these are threads. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Interesting. So maybe we're going to see a lot more, I don't know, TikTok or YouTube or like first person
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. And I think what also changed is that Google has shared that the most important one of those for now is trust. And without trust, a website cannot have EEAT. So it cannot if there is no trust, those other factors basically are not relevant. So this is, I think, also an important one.
How do you show trust in that like foundation layer?
Sorry, could you repeat? Because I kind of lost you for a second.
Oh, sorry. How do you so you said trust is like if you don't have trust, you can't have the others. How
Yeah, yeah.
what is it that makes a website trustworthy?
I would say this is that the website contains the accurate, honest, and safe kind of information, reliable information that is not misleading. I think Google is talking recently also a lot about how the content is not harmful and is specifically asking search quality raters to assess whether the content may be harmful for a person. So I would say this is where this trust element
Mhm.
lies.
So this is where like this YMYL stuff,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
So I'm wondering if like we've talked about YMYL and stuff on this podcast before. It's like healthcare or like legal or anything that could influence your health or well-being, etc.
Yeah.
Which obviously needs to be at a higher there needs to be higher accuracy and it has more potential for damage. Is this E and EEAT, whatever, is that relevant outside of YMYL stuff?
To be honest, like I noticed there are like two schools of thoughts. I would one is saying that you should mostly focus on if you are thinking about EAT, it mostly relates to those your money, your life types of websites, as you mentioned. But the other school of thought says that basically everything you do online is kind of YMYL because you may make a person like happier, you may make a person angry with your content and stuff like that. So I would say that whenever it is possible, I would try to work on EAT, trying to apply this YMYL rule basically to every website.
Mhm.
Maybe except for like funny cut videos, like purely entertain something that is purely for entertainment purposes, maybe like memes, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you don't need to be an expert to say a meme is funny, but
Yeah.
like I guess you should watch the videos if you're going to say this is a funny video. So maybe that's some experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
So how if we focus on like experience specifically, how could I show like experience in a blog post? Like what kind of things should I show?
I would say something that Google has been highlighting is that they are now, in reference to EAT, they are now going to look more at who is behind the site, who is the owner of the website, and who is the content creator, because this may be like different people. So I would say what you should really focus on here is to make sure that you are very transparent about who wrote this content and what kind of qualities, what expertise, what experience they have. And you should also be transparent about, for example, if you have an affiliate website, that you should say that, okay, I am earning money through those links. And ideally, because like EAT also relates to product reviews, updates, like this is like interconnected. When you're, for example, reviewing products, you should actually show that you have actually seen that product, you have actually reviewed that. Like whenever you talk about something, there should be a proof that there is some experience behind that.
That's what it's funny because I think it's always like that for Google that
Yeah.
they honestly I think they just want to it's like if I'm a reader and I'm reading something, the things I actually want to see is like, is this site trustworthy? Who wrote this thing? Like
Yeah.
if people did content properly and stop trying to hack algorithm, it would work out, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And I think this is like especially important now with the rise of ChatGPT, like Bing Chat, those other AI tools who
Yeah.
can like create a piece of content in a second, and this piece of content will sound very convincing, will sound very authoritative,
Yeah.
and I think this is like this EAT is something that will help us like separate ourselves from this AI low quality content, like in the coming weeks, months, years.
I wonder if you can use ChatGPT to write in the first person. Like,
Yeah, yeah, you can.
okay.
Yeah, I've been playing with it a lot. I even like edit. I fed it with my own article and asked it to write as if it was me, and it was doing a relatively okay job. But I
Yeah,
think like proofreading is necessary because it makes so many factual mistakes
I
that
agree.
it is hard to really spot them because
Yeah,
it sounds so convincing.
it's confidently incorrect.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Um, yeah, I mean, so does this basically it does sound like it's easy to fake though. I could have a fake author, I could fake their expertise, I could, I guess, create them a fake LinkedIn profile or something. If it's a manual search rated guidelines, like, do you do you think that's possible to fake all of this?
Huh. I think like faking it in the way that would actually work will probably take as much time as like doing it authentically, I think in some cases. Maybe
Yeah.
now it will be probably now it may be easier to fake it, but I think Google is doing everything it can to become better and better at recognizing those fake kind of fakeness, and I think it will be a short term game to try to fake it. And if you want to think long term about your business, your website, I think you shouldn't like be focusing on looking for shortcuts.
Yeah. I don't yeah, I completely agree. Um, it does seem like everyone tries to hack the algorithm, and then
Yeah,
a year later Google changes. And so
yeah.
so okay, so basically we need to really show firsthand experience with certain things, certain topics where that's relevant, like or at least do roundups, I suppose. Like one of the things I really want to ask you was about the fact that these EEAT is not actually a ranking factor.
Hmm.
Um, but it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. It's like an indirect
Yeah,
ranking factor. Can you
yeah.
just explain what it is?
Yeah, so like technically this is not a ranking factor. Google has been very explicit about it. There is no EAT score or anything like that.
Mhm.
However, this is something that is very in detail described in Google Search Quality Raters. It is basically the descriptions of how to assess the site is what search quality raters use to do like those manual reviews of search results. And the reviews are kind of data points for algorithms, then to kind of for developers to adjust algorithms so that the next time some search is performed, maybe better results with fewer misleading websites are surfaced. So they are basically used to teach algorithms how to like surface EEAT content, I would say. The only thing that is a ranking factor kind of and can influence EAT or correlate with EAT is usually like links page rank, right? But this is not exactly like one to one. EAT is links, but it is usually links kind of can show that you have some authority and expertise and trust.
So Google will like make some changes to the algorithm, and then they'll ask the rating people, like I think they employ thousands of raters, right, to go
Yeah, there are like I think 10,000 around 10,000 quality raters.
like real like this way you can't fake it, I suppose. Like real people are going
Yeah,
and looking and seeing like what was the impact of this, like has the wrong type of site now risen to the top? Should we like make an adjustment there? And
yeah. Exactly. And this human element, I think, yes, for a person, usually it takes 3 seconds to look at the website and see whether this is like a fake website or not a fake website.
it's so true. Like, so we did talk about like your money, your life stuff. Is this, let's say I'm like my SEO blog or like my marketing blog, do I have to really worry about this stuff? Do you think like are manual raters checking everything, or are they just checking important stuff?
I would say, like with the recent additions in Google Search Quality Raters, I think they explicitly say that they want raters to check the reputation, to check the reviews of that specific website. So I think there's a high chance that they will not only like browse your entire website, but also look for the reviews of your website or comments about you on other websites to kind of get the better picture of your reputation. Like, what is it like?
Yeah, so they'll do it off page, like on other websites and G2.
Kind of. I think that's possible.
Yeah, I can imagine so. But yeah, again, like it probably depends on how important that topic is anyway.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
memes and stuff, they might not.
Yeah. But I think like SEO marketing, I believe this is YMYL, at least in some form, because we can definitely influence someone's money, someone's buying decisions. So in that case, I think we should be taking good care of EEIT.
Yeah, yeah. I think we should anyway, just to future proof ourselves.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And especially in light of AI content and this AI revolution happening.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think that's this experience thing is like perfect for that because really like a first-hand you telling a story is like it's harder for AI to fake. Harder as
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And Google is getting better at like try at being able to detect that fakeness. So
yeah, yeah, true. Is if you were speaking to one of your clients, what's like the number like let's say like on this subject, what's a change that you would ask them to start making with their new content?
I actually had a few conversations about that with my clients, and uh, some of them didn't want to like show their face, show their name on the website, and I kind of convinced them that it may be a good move. In other cases, when the client is a doctor, he already kind of has this authority experience, and I requested that maybe we should create some videos where you actually show yourself, talk about this, and because like in many cases there is a lot of authority, but like it's kind of hidden somewhere. So I'm trying to encourage that maybe we should go through some frequently asked questions in the form of in the written form as well as in the form of videos.
That's a really great tip actually. And do you know what it reminds me of? Like, have you been on Neil Patel's website?
Oh yeah.
And he's always got his face there.
Yeah, his
Um,
face is everywhere. Yeah, like I was on Answer the Public today, and like the same thing because he recently I think bought Answer the Public, and I entered Answer the Public, and his face was like everywhere.
maybe he's onto something that we're not. You know, he's the
Yeah,
expert. So,
yeah.
is there anything else on this subject like people need to know?
Let me think. So I recommend everyone, every SEO, to read Google Quality Raters guidelines because this really will give you a deep understanding of how Google is kind of thinking about this, and I think you will definitely better understand it than just from people talking about it in general. It is like a long read, I think 160 something pages, but it is definitely a worth reading.
And that's like the gold standard of like what you should be creating, but the algorithm hasn't yet figured out how.
Yeah, 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 kind of, yeah. And
Yeah,
the examples of sites that are given there are also like quite interesting. They give examples of specific websites of what they do wrong or why this site, for example, is low quality because it doesn't have, for example, an about page or something like that.
yeah. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Like, it's such an important topic. So I really appreciate.
Thank you for having me. It was very nice. Like I had to refresh my knowledge about that, so it was so cool.
Me too. This every time there's like a new topic, I have to like I feel like I know it, and then I need to reread and dive in. Again, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.